blue.
He says that every time. Oh my God.
Hope you enjoy it.
Hi there, welcome to Going Coastal this week. And as you may have guessed from that brief little opening, this show's going to have something to do with Sloan. In fact, the entire hour will be devoted to the band. They'll be talking a lot about the new record, which is out on Tuesday, and you should get it because it's brilliant. And about 10 years together as a band and a whole bunch more. So for all things Sloan, stay with us. Don't go away.
Would you please welcome to the stage, Sloan!
Well, this band's 10 years old now.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever think it was going to last for 10 years? Did you envision it when you started this band as the band 10 years down the road?
Well, certainly. Well, once things got going, I wanted to just do it forever. Like, I really liked the people from the beginning. We had one practice with a different guy other than Patrick. That was Lucas Pierce. Mm-hmm. You can cut to him if you have any footage of that guy. But it's been the four of us the whole time, and we had our ups and downs. But yeah, 10 years is a long time. Yep.
I thought we were going to have a big wingding for our 10th anniversary. It would have been nice to go back to NASCAD and play a show. But what did we do last February? I think, I don't know.
We rent a movie and get a pizza or
Yeah,
something?
I think I was just like at home, sick or something. Chris was probably up here with his thesaurus, and Jay had bought some records. Patrick was thinking about an amplifier.
I'm up here and you're down there, but you never know what it took. You don't care what it took. Look in your eyes.
I never thought we would end up on Geffen or anything like that, you know. I remember originally we got offered a deal from Network early on, the record, and it was like, oh my God, you know, we couldn't believe it. It was like Network was such a big label. I mean, they still are, of course. And then by the time Geffen came around, it was like we were still pretty flabbergasted. And then through that summer, we were still getting deals, and it was like, oh yeah, Warner Brothers called, whatever. So we're completely jaded by the summer of '92.
We just really lucked in. We really benefited from timing in the early days, and the world came to us, and it was just kind of a different world. And I remember really upsetting some people by saying, you know, we didn't have to move to Toronto, and some people that had moved to Toronto really thought that I was criticizing them, and I wasn't. I just was trying to say how fortunate I felt. And but you know, we all, you know, Andrew moved like the next day or something.
I was pegged with breaking up the band when...
Oh, was that you?
Yeah. The guy from Geffen, Todd Sullivan, the guy who signed us to Geffen, when he found out I moved, he gave me a call and he's like, what are you doing, man? You're fucking it up. What are you doing? I was just like, oh my God, you are so oblivious. You don't, like, he's been in the same room with us maybe 3 times, has no idea what anybody's path in life really involves. And it's just like, it was such bullshit.
He's running down much faster, home base is around the corner. All she can hear is laughter, and that's all that's in store for her.
This whole situation has been my dream since I was a kid, you know. It was, it's awesome, and it's all I really kind of wanted to do. I wasn't really prepared to do anything else either.
You didn't have a backup plan.
Didn't really have a backup plan. I have a BA in history. I don't know what that's going to get me.
My big fallback is to be a painter. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, talk about choosing another career path that's got the likelihood of success.
I was ready for this. Like, I wanted it to happen. And like, so when we got the attention or whatever, it wasn't like, oh yeah, you know, I guess I'll drop out of school for a while now and just pursue this. It was like, yes, okay, now this is what I really want to do.
We all went to university. I guess that was sort of always everyone's plan B. Certainly the band as an option for making money was never plan A. It just sort of happened, and we got super lucky in about a month. You know, it went from being impossible to possible.
Well, I remember when I first came to Halifax and started to see the band, and I was always constantly amazed when I went out to see the band live because I couldn't tell one song from the other. It seemed to me you guys would do just about everything possible to keep from becoming a crack unit, which the band definitely is now.
I don't know, we definitely had this sort of awkward period when we went from purposeful unprofessionalism to trying to clean up our act, and we all sort of did it at different stages. I probably was dragged there last, and arguably maybe still being dragged. You know, I know that there were years when we used to just tackle each other and just throw the guitars around, and it would be more about making noise and just jackassing around, which I still tend to do. But you know, after a while, Patrick would be like, "Don't touch me." Pretty soon in, actually. Yeah.
I think we've become a good band because we want it to become a good band, and it's just the goal. That's the only, like Jay was saying, it's all he's ever wanted to do. And I mean, all you can hope to do in whatever you do is to be as good as you can be, as corny as it sounds.
Check it out, bring the music down, check it out,
Everybody was getting so good. Like Hardship Post were the best live band in the world, and they were so good. And I didn't feel we were getting any better, and it was embarrassing. But I guess in a sort of sooky way or whatever, I was like, well, we're not going to get any better, so we might as well just really suck. I guess, I don't know.
The last record was done kind of really quickly to get back out on the road. It was done very fast, a couple of months. So it was more bringing completed songs to the table that people have been working on at home. And then with this record, because the last record bombed, there was no real need to get another one.
The first guy in the band to use the word bomb.
It was timing and all those things, and I think to a certain extent we sort of took Canada for granted, where we knew that it was a bad time to release it in Canada, but we had to do it for an international agenda.
And we also didn't tour Canada until basically 5 to 6 months after it was released, because we wanted to go to Japan, Australia, United States. We wanted to do all that stuff before we did Canada. So we sort of knew that Canada was going to take a bit of a back seat on the last record. So I think that's probably why it didn't do as well.
I think it sold less than we thought of, even doing a business plan on the low side, being, you know, we'll only sell about, and we managed to get lower than that.
I think the video was maybe just a bit too esoteric or something, and it was in black and white, and, you know.
I don't know if you want to send your B camera into the bathroom, but there's a big thing on the wall of, I planned out the Losing California, like I did, like basically everything for the immense flop that it was. But, and then the one after, we made a video for the song Friendship. Again, my idea to just do it in video in black and white. And it's like, whatever, totally. I don't know if anyone ever saw it.
I saw it. We played it.
Thanks, lads. We had several plans B, or plan Bs. One was Murder Records, because we got signed really early on to Geffen after about 11 shows. So it was our sort of escape route, because we thought that that might be only brief, and what do you know? And
now here we are in Murder Records.
That's right. Murder Records is a state of mind.
So you've got pretty much everything in this place.
Everything is in here. Look, see, that's all kinds of, look, 10 reels of Inbred's negative. I don't know, there's lots of reels of our videos. you know, and I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I can't think of anything. Around 94, 95, when our band was really sort of on a hiatus, and Chris and I put a lot of time into Murder Records, and that felt pretty exciting too. Like we were able to put out things from other bands that we liked, and also helping out, like doing one-off 7-inch singles, like we did one with Stinkin' Rich, and you know, that's how we hooked up with like the local Rabbits and stuff like that. Even though they're from a different area, and even Zampano, who are from Vancouver, but I felt like when we were almost branching out and connecting with other communities as well a little bit, and or at least trying to connect with them, because I think a lot of people in Toronto or in other cities sometimes were like, you know, oh, Halifax, I don't want to hear another Halifax band, you know. But at least we were trying to, it was our little olive branch to the other communities, you know.
That we do is we just say we just like to have control over everything. It's not like that's that hard to do, but sometimes you do it at the expense of you can't really get anyone to get behind you that much if they're not making as much money as they possibly could.
Yeah.
If they have two artists and one retains all their rights and you know, makes this royalty and one makes this royalty, you want to push that one because the record company would make more money off it. I don't mean to talk so cynically. It's this business sort of thing.
You've just changed record companies. Obviously, there must have been a reason for that.
Yeah, that was definitely in the mix. And Universal was always super good to us, but also we were able to benefit from the timing of the climate of the industry and stuff that on our last record we definitely didn't.
Sometimes it's too much, you're gonna go right out of your mind. California, it's fine, sit back and watch it go.
I was gonna get you to look around at all these boxes of live records that are left over.
Those are boxes of live records?
Those are boxes of our live vinyl. So we should have a little sale, I think, on our website, perhaps. Sell them off.
Yeah, the live record, which is actually still available. Yeah, whatever. But it's not fair because they're thick, and you know, you can only get, you know, each one of those enormous boxes of records only has 15 in them, so it's not. We'll get rid of them. Whatever. Again, this is another project I kind of spearheaded. Everybody's like, "You think we really need to do a live record?" I was like, "Yes." White Elephant.
Well, it must have been pretty interesting to play in front of 30,000 plus people in Halifax the other week.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to just be a nightmare. I was just thinking, oh, God, can't wait to just go down to Barley's and disappear from that. But it was quite fun, actually.
Did you get a load of how big the crowd was in Halifax?
Yeah.
I was not. Were you guys expecting that?
Yeah.
I thought that we haven't had a lot of luck in Halifax the last couple times.
Well, you know, most of the people that we interviewed in the crowd, given that there were a lot of different people in the lineup over the 2 days, most people said they were there to see Sloan.
Oh, really?
Who did you guys come here to see?
Sloan!
Sloan mainly, because I've just been a really big Sloan fan for like just a little amount of time, and I've never seen them, even though I'm from Halifax.
We've done these festivals this year and last year. It wasn't called Snow Job last year, but similar things and other festivals we do in the summer and street festivals, whatever. We were either headlining or playing with somebody else. And I don't think that maybe the one outside Toronto was as big, but that was it. The rest all across the country have been 15,000 at the most, I think. So I was quite blown. Did this just move again? I was quite blown away.
She once loved this person, it was out of sight. But this doesn't have their present situation. Just felt right.
And And playing Halifax is always a little bit stressful because everybody wants in on the guest list, and everybody, or you want to get your friends in on the guest list, and then your parents want to come, and that's great, but then they don't want to stand in the crowds. Then you got to go find a place for them to stand, and all you're thinking about is, how does that part in that song go? And
Andrew's mom and my mom
Yeah.
are the screamers.
Yeah,
like
well, they were singing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
they sing along to all the songs.
Yeah.
She is by far too into our band. My mom and Chris's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's troubling.
It's about letting go and feeling good and positive and removes you from your day-to-day life.
So it was recorded in this space.
It was, in this very room, actually. Can you tell? See, we recorded it with this.
Uh-huh.
And, oh, I don't know.
We did it under our own roof, so to speak, so there was no, like, studio clock to worry about money-wise.
We recorded the whole thing on a G4, like an Apple. And it sounds great.
We kind of, or at least Jay and I anyway, had set up the same system basically in our homes, so we could do recording here, go home, load it all into our computer and fool around at home and then use that stuff or replace it up here, you know. So it was like a constant, whether we were in the studio here or just at home, like listening to it at 1 in the morning or whatever we've been working on that day. You didn't have to wait to come back in or wait for your turn to come back in to lay something down. You could do it at home.
And it really freed you up. Like, you could record a song, but then, you know, if, oh yeah, I didn't really like this part, you can just snip it out, you know, and just edit songs together, which is pretty liberating. Although you don't want to rely on that as a crutch. I mean, I think that you probably could, but I think it really helped us with just the whole process, basically.
So we didn't get a name, like a big name producer. We used Brendan McGuire, who we used on Between the Bridges, who's our live sound man. And who is a name producer, I guess. But we just decided to use a friend of ours who we're more comfortable with.
We worked with Brendan McGuire again, and I think we worked with him on the last record, and he probably wasn't as ready maybe to do things with us as he was with this record. He was very involved in every aspect of it, including mixing. Even though we mixed it in Vancouver with Dave Ogilvy, Brendan came out and was there for the whole thing as well. So, and you know, I also do think that working with Dave Ogilvy, who did Smeared with us, mixed that and has done a million other things, I think that that probably helped picking the right guy to mix and tie things together for you. At some point you do have to step away a little bit and say, what do you think of this? Like, what can you do with this?
You're running away.
So how's it working with you guys these days? You come in to write a record, everybody turns around and looks at you and goes, okay, we need the big rock single from right off the top of the record, so would you just write one and bring it in for us? Or?
No, I think it's more like everybody looks at me and says, are you serious? Another one of those things? And then I cringe when the record company people say, hey, we know what the single is, or, you know, whatever. It's not always met with a lot of, way to go, backslapping. But actually this single's more collaborative.
Well, it was the most collaborative, I guess, of all of them, since maybe like Twice Removed was the last time we actually sat around for months ahead of time and worked out song structures and everybody putting their 2 cents worth into each other's tunage.
We kind of started off, the record was much more sort of down and acoustic, and then did a whole bunch of demos and songs in that vein, and then played some stuff for people, and they were kind of like, well, you know, you guys are a really good live rock band, and why are you not pursuing that?
Some of Chris's best songs were melancholy songs, but he has other songs that were more rockers as well, but I think that were good as well, but I think some of it, like, just using Chris as an example, like his melancholy songs I thought were a bit more like some of the best ones, so it just seems like those ones kind of made it onto the record.
It was a big year for heartbreaks and all that and the lot, but Yeah, so I was able to get pretty sad. Yeah, you're right, Mike.
I think Chris kind of wanted to make a double album. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think he wants to make a double album every time.
I would have said that we wanted to make a double record, but I've been saying that every time for the past 3 records now, that I wanted to do a double record because we have the creative abundance problem.
He says that every time, yeah. Because there's a quality control factor that has to come in at some point.
I'm happy with everything. I think it's a great record, and I stand behind it.
Yeah, I like it. Well, yeah, I find that
I'm
listen...
assuming that you like all the records that you make.
I do, I'm very proud, but I probably listen to my own records less and less. It's Jay who's,
He's gonna,
you know, ring, 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 you know, and like, hello, and the record's blaring in the background.
Yeah, I suppose.
A year and a half or something is a little long for us to be making a record, and I'm kind of glad it's over.
I hear it's online. Do you guys know this thing?
Somebody told me it was.
I heard it was on.
Barry told me he was
Yeah,
online
yeah,
somewhere.
Barry said it was
Well,
online.
I hope you enjoy it.
So you're headed out the road, you're going to promote this record. Is there anything in particular that you'll be looking forward to that you haven't already done or you haven't already seen? Or is it just going to be, you know, just happy to be on stage again?
Well, we'll have to see. It's we are playing in Quebec City for the first time ever, so that'll be good. We have a new Murder's now distributed through a new label. I think that's the official way it works, but we're out on BMG now.
BMG, yeah.
So so there's new folks to work with, and that will be good because they seem to be very excited.
Things are starting to go ahead in England, which we hadn't really worked on in a while, and we've been to Japan a couple times and Australia and everything, and so it's nice that we do well in other territories, and we still hopefully will do well in Canada. We'll see this time around.
Well, I think this time hopefully we'll have a bit more of a legit release in Europe, so maybe we'll make more inroads there, because only our very first record was ever released for real in Europe. And get back to Japan. I don't really know, like I don't even know. I'm always the last to find out everything. Before we go on the road, you know, I'll find out that, yeah, okay, we've got like hot air balloons and we're gonna play from those and descend to the stage at Barrymore's or something in Ottawa. I don't have a clue.
Japan will happen as well. It's going to be, I think, BMG in Japan, so we'll be back over there. I think we're going over there in January, and then we're going to the UK prior to Christmas, and America's like 5 shows. We don't care about America anymore. So hide yourself
Really, there's no downside. You really have to, sometimes when I'm fed up with it a little bit or whatever, you just have to realize, you know, I could be working 9 to 5 somewhere. And, you know, basically my day is I have to get up here for 2 o'clock in the afternoon, rehearse for a few hours, then go home. So that's what I kind of do.
We are, in my mind, a real success because I haven't had to have a crap job for 10 years and we're still doing it, and I still see lots of I still think that even though we're 10 years old, we still have lots of potential.
Yep, I don't know what the question is now. I can't remember.
I think we're definitely one of the best bands in the world. I mean, it's just, I've said it before and I'll stick to it. I just think it's a matter of time before, we might be long broken up before that's understood.
Before everybody figures that out.
Yeah, which is fine. But hopefully, you know, I think some people agree. A lot of people will just fundamentally disagree, but I'd like to see their band